I know you mentioned, pitchers are creatures of habit. I kind of wanted to get to learn who is the toughest pitcher you've ever faced. A guy that when you see him, you're like, oh man, it's going to be a long night.
There was a pitcher. I don't know if he pitches anymore. His name was Andrew Miller. He's like a left-handed pitcher, really tall, like 6'8", 6'9" guy,
Yeah.
and he was left-handed. And he was a pitcher that so there's like a batter's eye, right? Like there's something right behind the pitcher. If people don't know what that is, there's something behind the pitcher where it kind of like is dark, so you can see the ball come
Right.
out there, right? So like it's dark and the ball's white, so you can see the ball. But he was so tall and he threw from such a weird arm angle that his hand would never be in that batter's eye. So it was like in the stick. So
Yeah.
like if people are wearing white and like green and whatever, like all these different colors, I couldn't see the ball. Like it was, so he would always throw from these angles, and he was definitely the toughest pitcher. He was already throwing like 96 to 98 with like a
Mhm.
really nasty slider, and like let alone I can't see it. So he was definitely the toughest pitcher I've ever faced. I mean, I struck out on 3 pitches, and then I went back to the dugout, and the guy was like, "Hey, man, like this slider was your best pitch to hit." And I was like, "Dude, I've never seen a slider that good in my life," you know? So
Yeah, yeah.
he was tough, and he made a lot of money because he was really good. So
Yeah, for sure. And kind of maybe on the other side of that, I guess I don't really want to be calling out any pitchers, but were there any where you kind of saw him on the mound, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna take this over the wall.
yeah, there was one guy too. He pitched for the Orioles. His name was Chris Tillman, and
Oh yeah.
I was always a fastball hitter, and he liked to throw fastballs. So anytime like guys like to throw fastballs, I usually had a lot of success against them. And it was crazy. He would just throw me high fastballs, and I knew exactly what was going to come, and I would hit it every time. I would get like a hit. I got like a triple, a home run, and like a double, and all these hits against them. And he would continue to do the same things. I was like, dude, like you're not going to make an adjustment, but like I'm not mad about it. But
Yeah.
I could see his balls so easily. It was like he'd be throwing like 94, 95, but like it looked like it was like 85 because I could see it so good out of his hand.
That's awesome because as fans, what we see is kind of the stat sheet as well. I play a lot of fantasy sports. I've dabbled in a lot of baseball fantasy as well. But that's kind of what we see. We don't really see what's really going on the field and kind of what's going through their minds. And especially as a batter, or as like a hitter, you're really getting to read the pitcher, and that's why I kind of found that fascinating. You kind of bringing that
Mhm.
up where you kind of pick out their habits a little bit. Even going back to when you were saying the other pitcher was looking over his shoulder a lot at you, and you were kind of
Mhm.
able to figure out that it was a good time to run. So thanks for that insight. As fans, again, we don't get to see that as much, but we do appreciate hearing that.